Stellar Blade is being deemed as a failure, at least according to some games journalists on X and Twitter, where they're decrying the game as a big flop for not reaching over 2 million sales within the month of its release. I think this is something that we're seeing pushed out because a lot of people that hate the content for Stellar Blade are upset that this game is still getting the attention it deserves for being a game that is placating to what the fan base wants when it comes to character design and overall gameplay mechanics. And I think that's what it's suffering with some of the media attention around Shift Up, the developer for Stellar Blade, announcing the sales figures for the game, which are just about over 1 million copies sold for an exclusive PS5 title, a new IP that didn't have any name recognition at the moment, but it sold over 1 million copies within the month of its release. And I think that's the thing people are stunned at with this game now, because it is doing numbers for a game, for a new property that usually doesn't occur unless you have some name recognition. I think that is the opposite of what we're seeing now within the gaming industry, with a lot of these new IPs that are trying to do new things failing because the lack of name recognition. So we're getting an incessant amount of sequels that are coming out that are trying to promote their games titles, because this is the surefire deal to get your game out there. I think this success for Shift Up is leading to an overall PC release that a lot of people are excited for this game, which is going to probably double, maybe even triple the sales. But of course, a lot of naysayers are saying this is a failure for Shift Up because they invested over 40-50 million dollars in the production of this game. This is almost a AAA title, so I would see people say that is not reaching its overall stated budget for the game, but making a cool $15.8 million in royalties, and this is pure profit for the company after the sales. And I think this includes an exclusivity deal with Sony where they're carrying a lot of the budget for this game. I think this is a profitable title already for the company, and that's why they already discussed sequels for Stellar Blade, working on new properties for the company. And I think this is the succession of them seeing the sales numbers generating from this game and how they can actually reinvest their money to making something else in the future. And I think this is going to be a game that is non-exclusive, where they carry more of the burden of the success and failure of the game. And I think them being confident in doing that is a sign that they are confident, they have an understanding of the market they're going for, and they're going to go for that market in a selective way where they can make a profit for their company. And I think this is something I want to see from video game developers. Identify your market, go after them, and make a game for that market. And I think that's what we saw with Stellar Blade. It was made for the market that was trying to aim for, a market that was looking for more beautified characters, more Souls-like game interactivity, more of a quality, looking attractive and appealing environment to actually engage with. Even the world itself was interesting in and of itself. But of course, the creator of Stellar Blade and the CEO of Shift Up, Kim Hyung-tae, who's been managing this game for a long time as a passion project, he is still unsatisfied with some of the story elements, and he wants to up that with future installments of the game, at least the sequel. And I think this is the type of mindset you want to see from a game developer, where they're not satisfied with what they put out there. They're trying to improve it, trying to make it better. And I think that's a thing that he mentioned in his press conference when he talked about the sales figures and the overall state of their company. I think this is the thing that you want to see, them laying out a roadmap for the future of Stellar Blade. They have a group of ideas they're going to implement. They know what they're doing with this game. They're going to add a photo mode, more outfits almost every month. So it's exciting to see them. There's going to be another large scale collaboration with this game, and they're going to add additional and sequel information to this game in the future. So they're already on their way to producing something else with these characters, and I think that is a good sign for any company where they're announcing their sales figures, royalties, and profits. It seems they're pretty confident in the future of this game, and I think that's the thing you want to see from a developer, where they are confident in what they're putting out there. And I think a lot of people are not doing that nowadays in the video gaming industry, where we're getting a lot of content from people, we're getting a lot of properties coming out that are not really servicing the fan base. They're failing and they're bankrupting studios. It's nice to hear a fledgling studio within Korea that had only one property, a mobile game, Nikkei, that is still generating the majority of their profit, But to make a game that is broad based for a wide audience and having that success with this new IP, it's always good to hear from a studio. These are the type of studios I want to support. That's why I want to give these types of studios more coverage rather than maybe some of the nonsense that we're seeing from Western game developers. So I plan to probably talk about more games from good studios that are still trying to appeal to the fan bases of these old style video games, that are still trying to please the fan bases that they are attracting. And I think this is the case with Stellar Blade. It was made for a gamer, and it is making a game that is consistent with the creator's vision, and I want to see the creator's vision play out. I think the best version of this is probably in Japan, From Software and the Elden Ring series. Of course, not only Elden Rings, Dark Souls, all those series of games that kind of establish this new trend of making Dark Souls like games. They are setting the trends, and I think they are making the games they want to play with their overall vision. And I think this is the same thing you can say with a lot of Korean developers that are grabbing a bit of inspiration from that developer From Software and making some of their own unique properties. And I think Stellar Blade is a good byproduct of that generation of game developers that are just diving into these single player Souls-like games that have been taking charge of the industry. Maybe we'll get tired of these type of games, but I doubt it. I think it's a standard platform. I think Dark Souls just brought regular video games back into focus, because a lot of games I played in the past had that difficulty level of Dark Souls, Demon Souls. So I think it's bringing those type of hardcore gaming practices back into focus with mechanics that are appealing to real game players. And I have to thank Miyazaki from Software for producing this overall model of gameplay, bringing it back to the classic style. And it seems like it is attractive to a lot of developers now, where they feel like they can go back to that classic style. And I think that's what we're seeing in essence with Stellar Blade, with some other properties that are coming out. They're going back to that essence of gaming that we all would want to see but are not seeing anymore. But what do you think about the situation with Stellar Blade, its sales? Do you think its sales are a failure? I don't think that's the case. I think it's doing pretty well. It has reached its standard, especially being a PS5 exclusive. It's going to have a PC release soon. I think we're going to see the sales numbers double for that PC release, especially all the modifications possible with this game. So this is a game that is going to attract a large, broad-based audience. I'm excited to see it be released on more platforms. It probably will never come out on the Xbox. The Xbox has its own standards where it will refuse to adjust to these type of games that are more attractive and appealing to traditional gamers, and I think that's the case. But we'll maybe even see this on Nintendo one day. Maybe. I think that's how appealing this game is. But at least that's my thoughts on it. Tell me what you think about this game. I'm excited to see where it goes in the future. I'm excited to see some of the transformations that this game will go through with these updates that they're still working on. I'm happy that they were even just still working on the game. It just shows how much profit, how much investment that they're getting back from this. And I think this is going to be an exciting future for a new IP that we just didn't know existed until a year ago. At least a lot of people that started learning about this game. But you tell me what you think about the situation. I'd like to hear your thoughts. This is Wagner Knows Why. Catch you next time.